I'm here with Dr. Kisha Daniels, Assistant Professor of Educational Leadership here at North Carolina Central University. She's also the Director of the Educational Leadership Program and a mother as well.
That's right.
Dr. Daniels, talk to us about what we can do to get our children ready to start school.
So I was actually having this conversation with my son this morning, who is transitioning to middle school. And what I was realizing is it's not just a stressful time for him, but also for parents, in terms of us thinking about all of the various things that we need to do to help prepare them to have a successful year. So some things that I can offer that also we know are just good practices for parents range from very, very simple things that you can do at home, like making sure that your children get good breakfast in the morning, gets them ready for the school day and to last through the school day. Also, helping them to make sure that they have a set bedtime. Bedtime is really, really important. We know that children need a minimum of 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. And it seems like a long time for us, but it really almost sometimes isn't enough for them. Making sure that at home, you may not have to have a separate room, a study room or a play room, but it is important to make sure that every child of all ages, whether it's 4-year-old to a 14-year-old, has a space that is dedicated for them to be able to do their homework. It does not have to be a large space. It can be a crate that just has their paper, pencils, pens, calculator, books, whatever it is. And it could just be a corner of your kitchen table. Also thinking about making sure that you are asking your children lots of questions about what goes on at school. And sometimes, I know I have 3 children, sometimes I'll get a range of responses from had a great day to how was your day? Fine. Well, we want to be able to probe a little bit more and to ask more questions. And it may be helpful for us to remember as parents that sometimes we have to be specific. Not just say, how was your day, but say, what did you learn in math today? And sometimes that gets you a better response than a grunt or a one-liner. In thinking about making sure that you have opportunities to discuss social things with your children also. Not just what did you do in math or English, but how were your relationships with your friends today? And you don't even have to say it as specific as that, but what did you talk to your friends about on the playground? A lot of times we don't necessarily always remember to ask as often as we should, and it is important because other things may come up that you can help your children through. And you don't have to have these conversations around the dinner table. You can have them in the car. You can have them driving in between activities because we know we spend a lot of time doing that. If your children have cell phones, you can call them, just a quick call or a text, and say, hey, did you make any new friends today? Or tell me about your day, and different things like that. So those are some of the practical things that you can do.
Very good, very helpful. Now the weekend comes along,
yes,
and the holidays,
yes,
and so forth.
Yes.
What do we do during those time periods?
Well, it's important also to remember that every opportunity that you spend with your child is a learning opportunity. Whether it's your preschooler and you're in the car and you're driving to grandma's house. You can talk about the colors of the trees. You can talk about things that they may have reservations about. You can point out different things in the scenery. When you are at the grocery store, you can help your children develop good writing skills by have them help you to write out your lists, as well as help you figure out the bill at the end, counting change, lots of different things like that. So school isn't just a Monday through Friday opportunity. Any opportunity that you have as a parent to extend their learning is very, very, very important for them as well. Then they don't see school as just during the school week, but they know that learning is always and ongoing. So that's something to think about as well. And you know, I will say this too, it's okay to have downtime. Downtime is really important. Adults need it, children need it as well. Whether it's your high schooler or your first grader. Get a good book, sit somewhere and read, or flip through the pages and look at the pictures for the younger children. And I really think that that goes a long way to sort of rejuvenate them and to sometimes just give them a break to think of other things, that they'd like to do, to dream big, to, fantasize about things. They have a lot of opportunities for downtime, I think is important too.
And it sounds like with downtime, you're talking books, and I suspect also playing outside and so forth.
Absolutely. We know a lot about how children learn and how children play, from young children to adults as well, into the high school years. And sports don't always have to be organized. Having children just go outside, breathe fresh air, and run around and play, it stimulates brain activity. We know that, and it does help them all along the way. Absolutely.
Now, one thing I noticed you did not talk about television
yes,
video
games.
So it sounds like the better downtime is the playing and the reading.
Absolutely. I know that in my home, we limit television as well as video games. And what we find is that when you allow children other opportunities to do hands-on tasks that are not passive. TV and video games tend to be more passive activities, but writing, drawing, coloring, playing outside, running around, those are all very active, and they really do help stimulate the brain. And everything's good in moderation, so maybe using TV or video games as a reward for doing other things, whether it's their daily or weekly chores, whether it's homework, but building in something where they are allotted those activities, but maybe in small increments, is what we find to be the best way to really help children, because those passive activities tend to take up a lot more of their time that they could devote to something else.
Well, thank you, Dr. Daniels.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Thank you for getting us off to a good year.
Well, I really hope that these tips will have helped you, and I know I'm going to use them with my own kids.